Hey guys, Janice Sam here with Everyday Chaos. On today's episode, I wanted it to be about how to make a children's book.
First things first, we need to clear the desk.
Listen, we are all organized in our own messy way, but you can't get anything done with a mess right here on your desk.
Okay, space is cleared. Now, we're gonna fill it up. You're gonna need an eraser. You're gonna need your pen and a pencil. You're gonna need a notebook.
Don't worry, nothing fancy. Any old notebook will do.
You're gonna need sticky notes. And you're gonna need a stack, depending on how many pages your book is, of printer paper, because this is what we're gonna draw on. I suggest 8 by 10 anyway, because of the whole sizing stuff you gotta go through. Okay, so first of all, we need to write down our idea. This one is the example of my alligator sea adventures. This one right here. Learned a few things of what not to do. Okay, so it's gonna look like mayhem. Okay, the point is these represent your pages. So what you wanna do, take your idea. Oh, beautiful. Make sure your pencil actually works right there. Okay, we're gonna divide it up. These represent your pages. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, 5, 6, 7. I forgot your intro page, so technically this should be your intro page. And then you gotta add your book cover later. So say this is Hoppity Hop Rabbit, and we're gonna write whatever you wanna write about Hoppity Hop Rabbit. Hoppity Rabbit, okay? And you can be however you want. You can draw your pictures here a little bit if you want, like, okay, I want a stick figure. This is gonna be where my rabbit is. That does not look like a rabbit. You be quiet. So anyways, you can draw whatever you want, because everything is subject to change here. So none of this matters. It can be as sloppy as you want. It doesn't matter, as long as you got your pages right. We need your blank page, and that comes next. And I'll give you a live example in just a second. Okay, so with the blank page, we want your sticky note. And this will be, we'll just write down on there, front cover. Okay, and then your intro page. And then you'll have page 1. Okay, so you got your intro. And then you got your page 1. Pay attention. Now, you don't want to put anything on this side, but technically this page is now going to represent over here. And this page now is over here. So when you close it, they come together. Make sense? Okay, so this is going to be, that other page over there was 1. This is 2. And this next one is page 3. Because you don't want to draw on the back of an already drawn page, or you'll mess it up. Okay, so this is going to go over that. Your new page to do 3, 4. Okay, close it together. Full new page again. Sorry, I almost messed up again. 4, 5. So you're going to keep stacking. It takes a lot of pages. That also depends on how long you want your book. Okay, so before you can get it to this stage, we go through all these, and then we get to draw the pictures, and you get a sneak peek. So what's funny about the dinosaur book that I did is I actually redid it.
Okay, meaning I wrote it all. It was all ready to go. I had it in that paper stage with the sticky notes that we just went over. And halfway through putting the sticky notes on the pages, I decided I didn't like where the book was going. And it wasn't how I originally wanted the book. And you know what? It took me like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to write this book all the way and be done with it. And in 2 hours, I changed the entire book. It's 45 pages. The entire book completely changed.
If only I could draw that fast.
But it's so much better, and I am super excited, and I can't wait until it's done. It just takes a long time because I draw all the details, and let's go over that.
So I decided to keep, this was my originals, And I just decided to keep it because, you know, memories, why not? But here's some of the characters going on. So I come up with ideas of how I want them to be. I draw them in different angles, see how I want to play with it, and then they go through lots of changes. This was the very first. And I write my scenes. I write my scenes like, oh look, I put Levi says it's dumb to be unnatural because I was asking if it should be standard or not. See, I asked my kids for help. They tell me what's up. So this is a book about a dinosaur who wants to become a beaver, but his parents won't let him. And this was requested actually by my nephew. And I really didn't know how I was going to make this work, but surprisingly I did. And I am so excited. These were the first creations of the character, Jackson, who is named after my nephew, who wanted the book. Alright, so here we got the front. This is just to protect all of my pages, so nothing can ruin it.
You'll understand what I mean when you start drawing your pages. Little tiny smudges, little bit of sweat from your finger will ruin everything, and you'll have to start all over.
And even though, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I do this thing now, I have a lot of projects, but my momhood comes first. And so do my chores. So there's a lot that I like to do, and it takes forever to draw everything, and then I gotta color it all, and then I gotta put it all on the computer. Yeah, it's a process. Yeah. Anyways. So, here we got the title page. But I want to be a beaver. And we'll do like a read thing, like whenever the next two books come out, this one and the next one that I'm also working on, I'll do like a reading session. I think that'd be cool. So you got your intro page, and on here, right here, I put scene of Jackson walking into front door, backpack on, shoe basket nearby for the sandals or something, which obviously I didn't draw the shoe basket. That's all right. Subject to change is always fine. So he starts with, hey, guess what? But I'm not going to continue reading it because I don't want you to see the rest. But I'll give you a sneak peek. Oh, this one, I'm not putting that, and so on my sticky note, I make sure it says no scene. And it's just going to be writing. Same with this one. No scene. And that's okay. You don't have to have a scene on every page. You can. It depends on you and what you want for your book. So. And that's all I'm going to give you about the sneak peek of But I Want to Be a Beaver.
So I kind of wanted to go over my first books, kind of to pick on them a little bit. Not necessarily make fun of them, but to kind of pick on them and just to kind of give you hope if you are going to write a children's book. Just keep this in mind. If you think about like actors and actresses when they first started out, like Tom Cruise for a second, if you go look up, no offense, Tom Cruise, you're amazing, but if you go look up his very first shows and movies, you're just kind of like, what? No. What? Everyone's got to start somewhere. So I always think about that. So don't get discouraged even if it is discouraging. And my first ones I learned a lot of lessons with, because everything in life is a lesson. You're just going to keep growing. Like last year, the whole YouTube channel started and the book started, and that was me putting my foot in the door. You got to start somewhere. So that's just me putting the foot in the door, and this year, you know, you guys are going to witness it either fail or boom. It is what it is. That's life. No shame over here. It's fine. I want to talk about those. Let's get to it.
Okay, Alligator, Alligator, What Do You See? Jungle Walkabout. This was actually my very first book, but the Sea Adventure one was the first book put online and to be sold. Which is interesting, the process of how I colored it. These ones I colored with coloring pencil, and then these ones I did the background with watercolor. Tested out a different things. It is what it is. You never know until you try something. Anyway, so let's go over that. So the originals. Here's the original work of Alligator, Alligator. Alligator started from actually a game that I was playing, and it was actually a very swamped day. Everything happened that day, I feel like. We had just bought the house that we're in right now, and it was a fixer-upper, and I had to travel 30 minutes to come over here and then go back to our old house after the kids got off the bus, and it was kind of a big ordeal, and I was very swamped at the time, and I just needed Levi to be distracted. And so it started as a game, Alligator, Alligator, like I Spy. So, Alligator, Alligator, what do you see? And I would point at something in the room, or I would say like a color of something in the room, and it was just a game, and it turned into a book. So, you have your originals here. Oh man, what happened here? This got mixed up. That's alright. That's how that one started. And I did do them on, like I said, watercoloring, and I used coloring pencils as well. It was a lot faster and easier putting the whole background on with watercoloring, but it was kind of a pain in the butt coloring it with coloring pencil, because then it did a crayon-like texture. I did not like that. I was not a fan of that. It really pissed me off. And then, as you see, some of the pictures turned out better as I went on, which is fine. Growth there. Okay, and then it was the scanner. Just get a proper scanner, okay? That is my biggest advice. Get a proper scanner. I went through 3 other scanners and they were horrible. One of them, I was trying to be cheap. I didn't want to break the bank, okay? And it's a wand. You can have the option of sticking it in. It can feed in, just like a printer. Or you can go over it with your hand, which is horrible. Absolutely horrible. So, lesson learned. Okay, let's move on. Oh, hey, this got mixed up. This goes over here. What are you doing? Okay. Now, the original of the C one is way thicker than this one, and I was pissed. I was so pissed.
Well, how pissed would you say you were, Del?
Rageful.
Let's just say I got angry, and I kind of wanted to cry and punch something at the same time.
Okay, and the reason is I had to take out some pages, and they were going to be like the introductory pages of what fishes you were going to count. Because it would have looked better, but Amazon decided to call it a blank page, and you're only allowed to have like 4 or 5 blank pages, technically. So I had to cut those. But I'm going to show you what they were, because they were absolutely freaking adorable, and they should totally be in the book. So when I find someone else, or like an actual publisher to publish these, then I'll take them there. Let's see, now you'd have your angel fish, and then you'd count your little angel fish. It's a counting book. Count from 1 to 10. Actually, I think I went backwards, 10 to 1 on this one. And you got your seahorse. You got a little butterfly fish. I'll speed up a little bit so you're not here forever. But I didn't love the fact that all of it in the background, you know, I mean, you can see all the, I don't know, that bugged me. But then when I go and look back at like Dr. Seuss's books or other books like that, like if you really look at the drawings, you're like, oh, I'm fine. It's all good. So don't get discouraged. We are our own worst critics. Then your mighty shark. Okay. Then you have to have the end pages. And this one's the Everyday Chaos Mouse in the House book. And when I went to scan this one out, I had a different scanner because I hated the other scanners that I used on the other books. And this one was supposed to be awesome and one that you can like projectile kind of. So I was like, oh, that'd be great because then I can do prints of my artwork. Yeah, no, it gave a big, huge blue hue in the background. So now all of these, you see this? Look how much darker. Like every page has that blue hue when it should have been white. Ridiculous. I was pissed about that. Okay, all right. The next one is my coloring book. And I called it Living Dreams because sometimes I'm kind of a daydreamer, okay? And sometimes I get vision stuff and I will just draw those down. So this is a whole book of a lot of things that sometimes I imagine or get visions of or whatever you want to call it. This one I believe is on Amazon. I may have to recheck on that one. So yeah, it was pretty fun to create. This one I used really soft paper for this kind. So it's like super delicate, which makes it really annoying because sometimes just sitting here, it'll leave your imprints. If your hand is just sitting here, it'll leave your imprint on it as if you just sweated through the paper. And you're like, what? I'm not even sweating. That always bugs me. But it is nice, very smooth. Let me just tell you what it is. I'll show you. If I can find it. Nope, not that one. Huh. Well, it's not in this room. Oh, it's in my other room. I'll have to show you another one. I think it's for marker. Anyways. Okay, this is actually my car. Literally. That's Roxanne right there. She's in my garage. That was my first car when I was 16. And yes, I still have her. She's still drivable. She still runs. I just, she needs a little work. Okay, this one turned out really good. I like this one a lot. I still like this one a lot. I think this one's still my favorite. This literally actually happened. That's the mama. And these are 2 cups. And they're already like big cups. Not like little tiny little cute ones. They're already big, okay? We were out at Mammoth. And me and my kids were riding bikes. We're waiting on the other people that were with us. And my husband was with them too. They were riding down the gondola with their bikes. And Justin had gone ahead of me. And I was like, hey, you need to like stay with me. This is bear country. And he was like mad because he didn't want to. He wanted to go ahead. And all of a sudden he was about to take off again. And I was like, no, stop. And I had seen like this vision, had this feeling like something was wrong. And I seen this vision of some bears coming, and then all of a sudden they freaking come around the corner, and every sign around you says, be bigger than the bear. And I'm sitting here like, I can't be bigger than the bear. What the heck? There's freaking 3 of them. And then the mom came in and just kind of like swooped him off the track. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it was interesting. It was very scary. I wanted to just hide in the trailer for the rest of the trip. I was like, I'm good. I'm out. I'm out. So yeah, that's that coloring book. And yeah. Okay guys, and that's how you make children's books. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.